We got 8 inches of snow. But sadly, I wasn't here for it. A couple of days of rain on and off and some warmer temperatures, and that 8 inches made its way down to about 4, maybe 5 in some areas. Not too exciting. But I'm afraid I can't wait. I have been dying to use this snowblower. And I'm going to take her out for a run today. The inaugural run. I hope you'll stick around. Cheers. So it might be a little anticlimactic. I was kind of hoping for that 8 inches or 12 inches of snow the first time I fired it up. But it'll be a good test today. It was packing snow for the last 2 days and it's slowly packed down. A lot of water, very wet and heavy. Today it's turned a little bit more crystalline because it's gotten colder. But either way, we're going to run it up the driveway, see how it does. Being so early in the season, probably not going to use the rear blade much today or for the next little while until I know the ground is nice and frozen down a little bit. Otherwise, I'll be pulling up gravel. And as you know, I always start the season up with the blower off the ground a little bit. So I have the skid shoes in the second position. Same reason, until I get the ground nice and hard and that gravel is frozen in there, I don't want to be pulling too much into the blower. So we'll see what we scrape off today, give it its inaugural test and see how well it throws some of this crusty wet stuff. So today, it's kind of a good example for you folks. You can probably tell that there are areas of the driveway that I've caught a little bit of gravel. And that's the challenge with this part of the year. Until that driveway gets a nice, good, deep frost into it, this is what happens with the snowblower, which is why I very seldom use my blade. And more importantly, I start the year off with the blower up off the ground. Once we get a nice deep frost into the ground, that's when I'll drop the blower all the way down on the skid shoes so it's as close to the ground as possible. But until then, you just want to minimize how much you're digging up. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. Can't believe I just said that. So as I expected, there's just not enough on the ground and it's kind of melted. But we're going to head out to the end of the driveway at the concession road, see if we can clear that out at least. Boy, you gotta love winter. How pretty is that? Well, we didn't have a lot of snow today, but I wanted to get her out and talk about a couple of questions I've had on the channel with this tractor and the blower. Today was a good example of why I've said for several years, when you get into the beginning of the snow season or your winter, you want to make sure that you're careful with your blower as well as your rear blade if you have a gravel driveway like I do or dirt. Until that ground gets really frozen hard. As you can see today, even putting these up on the skid shoes up off the ground a couple inches, I'm still digging into gravel here and there, and the gravel's not frozen, so she was throwing quite a bit of it today, which is why I stopped blowing. And so you want to make sure that you start the year off with your blower up off the ground. And that way, once you know the ground's frozen, then you can drop it down because you'll have a base of snow or ice for that blower to ride on. And similarly with the rear blade, you'll see that my upper control arm is pulled all the way in or very close to all the way in. It's because I don't want an aggressive profile on this blade. I want the blade to tilt forward so that it scrapes as opposed to digs. Traction. So far, really happy with these Aquiline Talon chains. Much smoother ride than my old H-pattern V-hook. And so far, doing great. Got me and the blower and the equipment up the steep hill without a problem. Mind you, I was in four-wheel drive today, which brings me to the front tires. I haven't decided on putting chains on these tires or not, or possibly using studs. It's another option. So far, it's only been a few snows, a little bit of ice, and a little bit of slush, so I'm going to see how it works out. But so far, I'm getting much better traction on corners than I did on the B2601. Probably in part due to the fact that the tractor's a lot heavier, and secondly, the blower's about 110 pounds heavier than my old blower. But with the B2601, when I had the blower down and I was clearing snow, as I came to corners, if I didn't slow right down to a crawl, basically the weight of the blower would cause the tractor to keep going forward, even though I was turning the front wheels. I sometimes would have to lift the blower in order to make the tractor turn. Today, all the way through the driveway, even in the areas I was blowing and the areas I wasn't, I had no problem turning the corners at a reasonable speed and low range. Another benefit I just realized today with this blower is it lifts off the ground much higher, noticeably higher than my old one did, which when you've got a driveway that has a lot of undulations, it's really helpful to have, because on occasion with the old blower, because the driveway would rise or fall very quickly, often the blower would hit the incline before the tractor was able to raise. This guy's nice and high off the ground, which gives me that clearance I need here in the forest. Several subscribers have left me comments telling me that they're having a problem with frosting or fogging in these glass cabs and asked me if I'm having the same problem. So far I haven't. I have had a few occasions when it's taken 10 or 15 minutes for the windows to clear, but as you can see today, I'm clear on all sides. I have no fogging or any issues. I have been playing with the vents and the different vent positions, trying to find out which one is the most ideal position to keep it clear. But again, we're negative temperatures, probably -5, -7 below 0 Celsius, and I don't have a problem. And many folks have asked me if the heat in the cab is sufficient, because they're saying that they sometimes find that they're not getting enough heat in their cab. It's hot in there. I'm not sure if there's an adjustment they need. I checked my engine temperature, she's running at the right temp, but it gets really hot in that cab. In fact, so much so during the video I had to keep turning the heat off. I was trying to turn it down, but it takes a while to get cool. So I'm very happy with that, and hey, being out here with a nice warm heated cab, the only thing missing today was the coffee in my cup holder. The blower, I could tell it's pretty powerful. As you can see today, it took in a lot of gravel and what little snow I had, but she still threw it quite a distance. I can't wait to get it into about a foot of snow and see what happens. Well, it wasn't a lot of snow today, but I did get a chance to try it out and test it out. I hope, if nothing else, you enjoyed the views of the forest today. I'm going to get her back to the shed, clean out all of this sand and snow, put it away until we get some real snow. If you like the channel, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and if you want to know when I'm posting videos, just click that little bell. Have a wonderful and safe week with your families. Please be kind to one another, and I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers.